Shanti, and good evening, everyone. I'm so happy that you're able to make it today. It always means a lot to us when you actually choose to be in a space like this, especially in a time where everyone is just so hurried and everyone is so self-focused, but sometimes not always in the best ways. It's okay to be self-focused, but we believe that when we're purely self-focused, it also helps everyone else's life. And so that's what this space is about. Um, I don't know how many of you know about the Brahma Kumaris, but it's the nonprofit organization in which all the students of the philosophy sustain the meditation museums, and for that matter of fact, all the 9,000 centers that we have in 120 countries. So we have 1 million students right now existing, studying how to transform their way of thinking, speaking, being, and showing up in the world with the intention that we're going to ripple out into humanity and create the change that we keep talking about, dreaming about, and also wishing for. So we're glad you made it. It's a good occasion. We have a wonderful visitor from Cambridge, UK. It's one of our members of the Brahma Kumaris that I've known for quite a number of years. I think we've known each other for over 25 years personally, but this is his first time visiting Washington, D.C. and coming into the space of the Meditation Museum. And he had a wonderful encounter yesterday at the University of Virginia, Dr. John Tucker, who's been doing some incredible research on reincarnation. How many of you believe in reincarnation? Hands up. I know I do. And so they have thousands and thousands of cases of children who've been sharing what they were in previous lives. And so Dr. Kakoday is quite intrigued by it because being not only a meditator and a yogi, but also a medical physician. So Dr. Prashant Kakoday has a background in surgery and integrated health. He has practiced Raj Yoga meditation with the Brahma Kumaris for over 35 years. He currently coordinates the Brahma Kumaris activities in Cambridge, England, and his main interest is in the relationship between the psyche, emotions, behavior, and our health. He's a well-known figure on the world speakers circuit, and he lectures on various topics ranging from science, consciousness, to the holistic principles of life and health. Please give him a big round of applause. Thank you. So, my sweet brother Prashant, I am sure that you'll be sharing a lot of thoughts with us, and will we have a chance for questions and answers tonight, you think? Yes, that would be really lovely. All right, so thank you for coming.
Hello and good evening. It is nice you had some period of silence, but let us create few more moments of silence. And during these moments, maybe less than a minute, let us remind that we are guests in this building and we are guests on this planet. Just this awareness of being a guest. Thank you. As Sister Jenna mentioned, first time in this city and such a wonderful experience to meet the family and to meet the larger family of this city. And this subject is also very appropriate for all of us, but also more so when we are in the city. There's a lot more things that happen. One reason why we want to know more about this, about essentially we are trying to understand the mind. It is because our basic need of each and everyone is to be happy. Agree? We can't as if beat this. Even as you enter this place, whether you are sitting in the front or back or left, right, you are thinking which seat will make you happy. Agree? And our decisions, moment to moment, is looking for happiness. And nothing wrong. But experts who study this, they say we are not experiencing our own potential. So we were saying that the experts who study this, they say that we are not experiencing our own potential of happiness. And even though many things are going right in their lives, the mind is looking for things that make them something to complain about. Mind is looking for things to worry about or to complain about. Agree? Is it like that here also? Or constantly happy? Yes. This is described nicely in one story with Socrates. Once one young man comes to Socrates. Socrates is a very wise man in the city, so this man comes to him, says, should I get married? What is the right decision here? And Socrates thinks for a while, and then he says, truly it doesn't matter because you will suffer in either case. And that describes our model to life and our mindset. Regardless of our success and achievements and progress and technology, mind is going by its own program. It has got its own model. And useful for us to know what is our mindset, what is happening in the mind. In our education system, there is no subject trying to teach people what the mind is doing. Even in the medical training, very little time is given to teach students about the mind. So much details about the cells of the body and about every electron microscope appearance, but not much about the mind. Understand? So here we are trying to see, in a simple model here, we are trying to see our world. Yes, this is our world that is going on, and this world is, what is represented here is the square. Everything that we know of is in this square. In our city, people, whatever you can touch, whatever you can see is all within this. Am I clear? Tell me one word that describes what is happening here, other than chaos. Even in a perfect world, what is happening here?
Look isolated.
Isolated, okay. What is written here? It is unpredictable. It is, you don't know what is to happen next minute, next second. That is the nature of it. Everything constantly changes. That is the nature of this world. Change is a law. And with change comes end and the beginning. Everything that you see has an end. And that is the way this world is. This world has an end. Now, one thing is, we can see everything that is around us from more than one angle. Say your car. Your car, you can see it from the front, from the back, from the top, from below. Each time you will get a very different view. You will see something very different each time. Agree? And the same object, but you can see from different angles. Same happens to this world. This world we can see from different angles. But from what angle are we seeing it now? You want to tell? What is our perspective? What angle, from where are we seeing this world?
What's currently in our mind?
In our mind? Any other?
Our ego?
Ego, that's right. That's why the word written here is I, representing ego. And ego means how I define myself. And at present, we are defining ourselves based on things within this box. So I define myself maybe by the body, or by the job, or by the people around, or by the objects around, your house, car. So you are defining yourself by things within the box. And what is within the box is unpredictable and has an end. That sets the scene. That means ego is embodiment of fear. We are just making some simple, definition of ego, not going into some complex psychological, but how I define myself. But that is the angle from which we are seeing this. And throughout, embodiment means that is, you can't win it. You give ego what it wants, and it will still experience the same thing. You give it 10 times what it is asking for, it will experience fear. So as long as there is an ego, it is having subconscious fear, subconscious insecurity. As a result, it constantly is looking for dangers. So ego gravitates to the negative. If there are 10 friends and one person who is criticizing you, you will be looking towards the one who is criticizing you. You will pay more attention to him rather than to your friends. If there are 10 things going right in your life, one thing going wrong, your attention goes towards what is wrong. Am I clear? Say someone has done 100 good things to you and one wrong thing. It is possible you give more attention to that one wrong thing, may even lose a friend because of one thing and completely dismiss 100 good things. This is the nature of the ego. And more we make the ego bigger, bigger is the negativity. You can't win this. When there is ego, it sort of, to address this, panic of the ego, it has to go into greed, it may have to go into addictions, or it has to go into violence. All this is like a manifestation of ego. Anyone here has got ego? So this is our present world and present situation. As if it is unexamined, as our life is ruled by this ego, and we are not even questioning it. That is the life that is led. The big success here would be if I can reduce the ego, or is it possible for me to come out of this ego? That will be big success. So if we have got some negative thoughts, it is because of this. The seed of it is here. Ego is the seed. If we want to remove this clutter, emotional clutter, you will be very, very wise to aim to reduce the ego. It is so far so good. You want to say anything? Feel free. All along it is an opportunity for us to share also. So if I want to reduce the ego, answer is very, very simple. Let us see this whole world from beyond, from outside. Ego just means when I am seeing it from within this square, then it is the ego. It is only this world that is unpredictable. If I see from beyond it, I am all right. It is just like, say, there is a cloud. I am seeing the cloud, and cloud is going, cloud is changing its form, shape. It doesn't bother me because I am outside of it. It is going to go, disappear. Still it doesn't bother me because I am outside. Same thing here. If I am able to see this same world from outside, from beyond, during those seconds, minutes, you will find those same emotions are not there for you. You are experiencing a different mind. Just by this one step, you are changing. You are positioning. This observer that is shown is like seeing from outside. Now, how can we do this? One simple example. Right now, we are in this place. We are inside the building. We are using many things. I'm using so many things here. Still, we are seeing the same building as if from outside. Perspective is up from outside because we know we are guests here. Just by knowing we are guests, we know we are from outside of this. So even whilst using this place, your perspective is outside. So someone was to tell you, that right now we have to leave this room, or something has to change, we have to go to a different place. You don't mind at all because you are a guest. You can accept things differently. The feelings are of a guest. Agreed, we are guests in this room for an hour. Are we guests on this planet? Anyone has got plans to stay here? Long-term plan? If you are not planning this, then you are a guest on this planet. And if you are a guest, it means you have an exit. And that is great. Guest means from outside, and it is in our interest. The moment you play with this guest, you experience a different mind. And what it is, you are free from these emotions of the ego. You are free from that clutter that is coming with the ego. We will be seeing some slides, and we will take it further. Let us see if this. So here we are seeing one great philosopher of Europe. He was from northern Germany, Kant, a little more than 200 years ago. And his beautiful insight, we look at everything through our glasses. These are the colored glasses. And these colored glasses interpret the things for us. So someone has got green glasses, someone has got red glasses. One person thinks this world is green, other person thinks this world is red. And they may not know they got glasses in between. Am I clear? Yeah. So he's using this metaphor to demonstrate that we have got our model, psychological model. And this model interprets the world for us. As an example, you go to some places, as an example, go to Tibet, and the death, a person is to die, there is no sorrow with the idea of death. Their model is different, their thinking is different. You go to another place, and the death is the worst thing that can happen to a person. Agree? You go to some cultures on this planet, and if a child is born, people get together and cry. For them, something bad has happened for this child to be born, to come in this world. A child is born in your city, you might arrange a party to celebrate. Agree? Who is right and who is wrong? All we can say is we can see the same thing very differently. We got our glasses, and glasses interpret the things for us. So these glasses, they interpret for us what is beautiful. You go to some places, what is beautiful changes. In some places you have to become really fat to become beautiful, be counted as beautiful. Another place you have to become very thin. Some places you stretch the neck. It's by special thing, they make their neck longer, taller, so that they are seen as beautiful. Some places they remove the front teeth, front incisors. Do you know why? to make themselves beautiful. Do they do this here? No? That fashion has not arrived? So they will say, here you might color the nails and color face. They say, what? Why you have to color? It is all to do with the teeth. So different ways of seeing things. So what is right, wrong, good, bad, beautiful? Our life is dictated by our glasses. But the paradox in this is like a central thing for us. You and me, we have got glasses, and we have not chosen our glasses. If you were born in another culture, another place, your glasses would be different. Just the people around you, your parents, adults, teachers, they give you the glasses. And then for the rest of your life, you are so fired to think what is right and what is wrong. So nice thing for us is to examine our own glasses. That will be a very good homework. Am I clear? One of the insight by Socrates, examine your life. Unexamined life is not worth living. If we are to examine our life, it is a good place to start is let us check these glasses. Am I using do I want these glasses? That's all. Or at least let me know that there are options. I can see the same thing very differently. Now, if I am to ask, what are my glasses? How can you know? Or if you were to find out what are the glasses of someone else, what is the way to know this? If I am to ask, what are my glasses? How can I know what are the glasses I'm using?
We would have to establish something that can observe objectively.
Yes. And one way is our language. And just to check what I'm using. Language is a very, very powerful giveaway. Imagine you meet someone, a person, and he's very quiet. You know about him, but you don't know enough. But if he just opens his mouth even for a few seconds, you come to know a lot more about him. Agree? That's why it is better to keep quiet. So here, we have our language, and in our language there are certain words we use a lot more than others. For example, I and my, these are most commonly used words in every culture, disproportionately more. And commonly used expression is, I want more. This is what is going on in our mind. I want more now. So let us see how we find ourselves in this model. Here we are seeing our world. Below this line, we are showing various things of our world. There are people, objects, everything. That is what is shown in that box there. That is what is represented here. I find myself in this world, and very quickly I want to put a label, mind, to things here. What emotion comes with the label mind? We said at the beginning, we are guests in this place, we are here for an hour, we are going to go. But for whatever reason, I start using the label mind. What emotion comes with it? Control. And with all the other feelings, maybe excitement also maybe. But another emotion that comes with it is insecurity. You know that you may lose it. And we don't like to feel insecure. So this process starts, how to cling to this and how to make myself secure. We don't like this feeling of insecurity. and then I want more. Just in case I lose one, I have another one. There is a backup. To feel secure, I'm creating more attachments, and more attachments I create, more I feel insecure. I can lose more. So we find ourselves in this spiral, and this spiral has no destination. It is forever. If a person is at the lower end of the spiral, more is his misery. And as we showed here, with what happens with ego, more you feed it, it just makes the ego bigger and the misery is bigger. So we find ourselves in this spiral, and we may be creating many spirals with different things. And in the name of progress, we are creating our misery. We have the option, and option is to be aware that I am a guest in this place, and before I went in that direction of claiming something is mine in this room, I was secure. I did not own anything here, but I was secure. There was peace. And when there was that state, I was not dependent on anything. I was my own master. When I go in that spiral, I become dependent. I am tying myself to things outside. Change bothers me, the end bothers me, and so I become a slave to things outside. Just lower the quality of our inner life. It is all inner process. So we are questioning this word "my" that we are using and promoting, in a sense, to anything that is temporary. If I am a guest, can I really believe that I can own anything here? If we said at the beginning, we are guests on this planet. If I am a guest on this planet, then at most I am a trustee of things. Just as in this room, I am a trustee. I am feel responsible to many things, but I don't cross a line to believe that I own anything here. In the same way, if I am a guest on this planet, then I can't own a single atom on this planet. I can't own anyone else. That is the truth about myself. And if that is the case, at most I am a trustee. I am a trustee of the family, trustee of people, trustee of the house, trustee of the body. So take care of it, be responsible, but not go too far. We don't need to go in that spiral. That direction of going in the spiral creates our life running after a mirage. Just as we said at the beginning, we have a deep need to feel secure. In the same way, there is a deep need, just like there is a need of happiness, there is a need of security. We can't beat this. The only thing is, now we are looking for security in that insecure box. This is what our present culture is. Everyone is looking for security, but in that unpredictable world. So they want more money. Why? So that they are secure. Sometimes in future, they want to be secure. They want other people to be with them, love them. Deeper inside, they are looking for security. But more we invest in this, in that way, more we feel insecure. That object itself will make you more insecure now. The banks change, policies change, government change, everything bothers you. What other person is doing, their thinking, it will make you insecure because you are relying on unpredictable world for your security. So life becomes one where you are running after a mirage. You never find security in that ego-based life. Any thoughts? Do you want to say anything? Or any easy questions? Yeah?
So how does one generate more security in their emotional?
Sure. Yeah, very good. We have mentioned already, but we'll come to it in more detail. We mentioned see it from outside. Be the guest. Remind yourself you are a guest in this world. Try and understand what that perspective is. Maybe for 1 minute, experiment with that perspective. And during those minutes, you are reprogramming, changing your inner attitude. It starts with 1 minute. All our habits, good habits or bad habits, start somewhere. We have created this big habit at the present time of getting caught in this. So we have to create a new habit, and a new habit of coming in a different perspective, see it from different angle, and then that will become your natural habit. Yes, very good. Any other question?
Just pondering something. I just learned my little sister has stage 4 cancer.
Mm-hmm.
She's very young. She's in her 40s, and she decided to not seek treatment and just live for however long she can.
Mm.
And initially, because I just learned this like 48 hours ago, I couldn't understand. And I'm wondering if maybe she's more not in the mind space, maybe she is more seeing herself, accepting herself as a
Trustee.
trustee.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know
Yeah.
what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah. As we discuss further, we'll get a more insight in this. But what you say may be right. But as we see it further, we'll see it better. Any other thoughts? Here we are seeing in this image. Have you seen a spider's web? Spider's web is immensely beautiful as long as you are out of it. If you are in the web, it is not beautiful anymore. In the same way, this entire physical world is very, very beautiful. It is rich, every aspect is so good. But if we trap ourselves in this world with these labels, my, I, with the labels like this, then the same world becomes the reason for our sorrow. The game is like this. More you remain free from it, it gives you happiness. The moment you get trapped, the same thing gives you sorrow. 100% of sorrows in this world are because of this. 100% of ego are in connection with this. Our desperations, desires, all are, 100% of them are connected with this. If you have a wrong attitude towards it, you get all of it. We have the option to change our attitude towards it. And just by changing the attitude, you are discovering you can change your attitude, emotions, feelings, the whole game. Here we are seeing what happens in our brain. In one of the important chemical in our brain is called serotonin. Serotonin is one of the neurotransmitters, just a chemistry. But this particular hormone has got an important role in our sense of well-being. In other words, 100% of depressed people, they have a lower serotonin level at that time. When the person is able to deal with crisis better, those people have higher serotonin level. Those who are with lower serotonin, they can cry easily, get angry more easily. They are less in control of themselves. So that sort of indicates at a chemistry level, shows your inner strength of the soul, you can say, resilience. Am I clear? So lots of our antidepressants and all work through serotonin or another neurotransmitter called dopamine, the pathways. Now here we are showing our serotonin level. What that green line shows the serotonin level in a person. And let us say he smokes a cigarette. What happens? Level does go up. I am not here to promote cigarette, some company. Now what happens next? Level comes below the starting point. So now he already feels a bit low. Something is not quite right. He was feeling better yesterday. But he knows the answer. What's the answer? Another cigarette, yes. And then he feels good. And then he comes even below that point. Now his friends come to cheer him up, so there's another cigarette now. And now he feels good. Now what you see here, after a while, the resting level remains lower and he needs cigarette just to feel normal. So he feels normal 10 times a day, rest of the time miserable. And after that time, he feels cigarette is not working anymore. So he needs his cafe with cigarette to feel normal. And then even that doesn't work. So this is a pattern, a diagrammatic way of showing what happens with cigarettes at a chemical level, at a serotonin level. But same pattern you will see with many other things in our lives. In studies it is seen that you see the same pattern with chocolates. What else? With the same pattern with the people. You can become dependent on another person. You can see the same pattern on television. How do you know you are getting dependent in a deep level, at a chemical level? If that is withdrawn, you will find you feel a bit unhappy. If television is not working and you feel a bit, you miss it, already the sign there is a dependency. May I ask here, how many have not watched television in the last week? Raise your hands. Very good. Full marks. Yeah, you need congratulations for this. So it is good from time to time to withdraw some of this and see if it really bothers you. It can be internet, this internet addiction syndrome. So if internet is not working, that can be irritation and withdrawal symptoms. Now, this is a big situation. Some of the psychologists have made a statement that this is a society of low serotonin society. This is a term used for society of addicts. more today than 60 years ago. Understand, no? 60 years ago we had a society and today our society. They say that today's society is a low serotonin society. Why? Why the situation is worse today than 60 years ago? Why? Yes, it is true. And why? Maybe one big reason is we can afford more. So there is more prosperity, more technology, more freedom, more science. And in some medical books, there is a statement used, failure of success. So to have prosperity is a success, and technology is a success. Amazing, we are getting this more progress. And if we are using it to create dependency and create a society where there is a low serotonin level in the population, that is a bigger failure. Understand? No? So the term itself that is used is failure of success. And so big question that all of us need to ask, and what are the political institutions doing about this? Means there are experts guiding everyone on this, but largely they are helpless. In parties can change, but as if no one is really addressing it in a real way in any country. In the medical institutions, they will give you some prescription. Some of these institutions, like entertainment industry, they will take advantage of this. They want you to become dependent. Some of these programs, internet programs, they want you to spend more time on it. Agree? They actually actively are choosing programs and trying to understand your psychology so that you can be dependent on them. So the religious institutions are not strong enough to understand this or intervene. So the ball is in your court. Each one of us have to take responsibility for our own lives, our own mind, our own emotions. Am I clear? In a sense, no one can do anything anyway. Can doctors do anything for you? They can teach you if they want to, but no one can do anything for anyone else. Each one has to take responsibility for themselves. You might, sometimes people ask, what can I do for my children? What can I do for my friend? Truth is, you can help one person on this planet. Do you know who is that person? Yes. But that is a good start. If you help yourself, then you can help others within the limits how much you have helped yourself. You can't help someone more than what you have helped yourself. Agree? So even to help your children, or there is a huge need at the present time. Because the younger generation, they find themselves in a more unpredictable world, with whatever that is going on at present. And so there is a real strength is necessary to help them come out of this. But we have to help ourselves here. Any thoughts? Anything you want to say? Yeah?
What are some things or activities or ways to cultivate healthy serotonin levels and more happiness on a regular basis?
Yes.
We saw a list of kind of bad ideas, so I want to ask about the good ideas.
Yes. I'm coming back again and again to this one area, something very simple, but try and come back to it and understand the great value of it. To step out of this and create that 1 minute where you are seeing this whole world from beyond. Let us create this time now. So when you are coming in that space, you will experience super sensuous happiness. All the experiences will be super sensuous. They are not because of ice cream, not because of your friend, not because of money, but you are happy just because it is you. You are coming to yourself. So that is what we want to grasp, have a taste for it. Shall we experiment with that? Let us create a few moments. So during these minutes, we keep the body comfortable. Consciously see that the body is relaxed. And we remind that we are guests in this building. And being guests, we are aware we don't own anything here. And we don't lose anything here. We experience the lightness of a guest, experience the security of a guest, experience the freedom of a guest. We remind ourselves that we are guests on this planet. The soul is a guest, a traveler. And being a guest, he doesn't own a single atom on this planet. He doesn't own anyone, so he doesn't lose anyone. A guest doesn't own anything else. He never loses anything. We experience the lightness of a guest, the freedom of a guest, security of a guest. As we continue on our journey, we remind ourselves of this beautiful secret. We don't need to lose our clarity. We remain the travelers, we remain the guests, we remain the observers of this beautiful world, a temporary world. Thank you. You want to, how was the concentration and attention? Even 1 minute you are creating in this as if you are nourishing some part of you. As we said, it will grow. That experience will grow. Even during this minute, even 10 seconds, you grasp that. feeling the guest. Let me ask you a question. Who enjoys your city the most? Local people or the tourists? Tourists. Why? Why tourists enjoy it more?
Because they're looking at the good.
You're a guest.
Because they are guests. Because they have not gone into the mind, some trap. They are not in the spiral. And when you are not in the spiral, you experience different mind. You don't need to own things to experience. Even externally, there may be label, someone, government says this is yours, and the law says this is yours. Internally, if you keep the attitude, nothing can be mine. This is your inner attitude. That you yourself, you are a traveler, temporary. So, you become clever here, in your attitudes, that life is going on, but internally try and grasp that perspective, perspective where you step out of it and try for minutes. You are just playing with it for 1 minute, and as you are doing this, you discover what is possible for you to experience yourself. When you are in that space, you are immensely lucky, because we said a guest, he doesn't own a single atom here. If I am a guest on this planet, not one atom, there is an exit. Not one atom belongs to me. Now, in that mind, you discover that every moment is a gift for you. You discover this body is a gift. Every experience, every interaction is a gift. There is a greater appreciation from that space. Just as we said, tourists, they enjoy it more than local. Local people I'm just giving an example, in any place, any city, they are not free to appreciate the sky or what is happening around. Whereas tourists, they are free to appreciate. Same, if you come in that space, you find that this moment is an extraordinary gift. We showed earlier the spider's web is immensely beautiful. In the same way, this world is extraordinarily beautiful. Every aspect of it, small things, big things. But even to get a glimpse of it, to see it with the wonder that it is, you need to create these minutes where you step out completely. Just for seconds even. Some people say just getting a glimpse of it. But even those seconds changes your chemistry. The question was how to raise your own serotonin. Those seconds, they can cure you sometimes if there is any of these things. When we are low serotonin, we tend to go towards addiction, different, because we have to feel ourselves from outside. When you get these glimpses, it resets inside. And then you know how to come back to these experiences again. When we are in that space of feeling insecure, it starts with insecurity, but that presents with some kind of emptiness inside. We feel there is empty feeling. Understand? And when we feel empty inside, we try to fill it in from outside even more. We are more vulnerable to so many things. When during these seconds and minutes, when you are coming in this space, you feel you don't own a single atom, but you feel you are very lucky. You feel full. You are different game, different chemistry altogether. When we are insecure with all our attachments, our mindset is of a victim, a potential victim. For example, I create attachments to these 10 different things, and then you just criticize this. Poor me, I'm the victim. Someone comes and breaks this, I'm the victim. And you might not break it, but you may break it. So I'm a potential victim. So when we are in that mind here, your mindset is of a victim. These are the lowest denominations that we have seen, that are possible. Forever, mind is of a victim. You come in this mind and you find you are lucky. Someone criticizes this, you are not a victim. Someone may criticize, you are not a victim. For you, everything is a gift and everyone is nice and everything is nice. It's a different mindset you discover. We have to experiment. This is all we can do. Create these minutes where we are experimenting with this option. And then that will grow, and it leads to other experiences. It helps us understand the other option altogether.
I have a question. I was in Africa several years ago, and the children were very poor, one little outfit, no shoes, very little eating. Most of them were starving when they died. They were the happiest, most joyous, loving children I've ever encountered. And I'm wondering if they, very few attachments, if that had something to do with it, that they, it's like I just encountered God through those children. They're so
Yes.
beautiful.
Yeah. Yes, what we are saying here, even when life is going on as it is, we have the option to change our attitude. Understand? And this is, trustee means things are, one is still leading a life as it is. But we have the option to change the attitude. But yes, you will find people, children in different places, different times, regardless of outer world, they are happy, yes. Here we are seeing another the thing that happens. We said here, beginning is creating some form of ego, but ego is not just one ego. Ego has got many heads. As we said here, one can define himself based on body, based on car, based on dog. Give himself self-respect based on things that are outside. And as he does this, he makes himself a lot more insecure because all of these things are from this unpredictable world. Change will bother him, a lot more vulnerable to take offense, give offense. In the midst of this is what is shown here as a red capital I. And that is what we want to nourish, this observer, that is a perspective from outside of this. That is the only way to remove this false I. Otherwise, at present, these false I are growing, they're unquestioned. They are non-stop. We are feeding them. This ego that we spoke of, and this is what this ego is, it is destructive. And close parallel of this is the cancer cell. Just to give you an example, questions? They can ask questions. Yes. Sure. Yeah. So we were saying that the difference between a normal cell and a cancer cell. What is the comparison? Normal cell of the body is something that considers the whole body, works for the whole organism. For example, your liver is not working for liver, it is working for the whole body. your kidney cells are working for the whole body. But there is such a beautiful harmony going on in this body. So much so that if there is less oxygen, if there is less nutrition, some organs take less and send more glucose to the brain or heart because there is more need of it. There is constant, this beautiful harmony going on there. As a result, whole body survives and individual organs also survive. Understand? Liver also is there, kidney also there, but body also survives. With cancer cell, it has got a different program. Its philosophy is different. What is it? I want more. That's the program of the cancer cell. It doesn't think about the rest of the body. That is why the person starts losing body weight if there is even a small tumor. First one of the sign is losing the weight because this cancer cell takes more nutrition, takes more oxygen, everything, it wants more. What happens if you don't treat the cancer cell? Then the body dies, but cancer cell also die. Agree? Now this ego is having a program like a cancer cell. It has got its unlimited need, which we said, embodiment. You can never satisfy ego. You give him 3 times more it wants, you want more. So as a result, its greed keeps increasing. You give it, it increases. Some of these big dictators in some countries, they want more. They are ready to destroy the country, but you can never satisfy them. Am I clear? So this is what exactly happens here. So it increases, and if we are ready to destroy this planet and destroy oceans and vegetation and animals and human beings, it is because of this mentality of the ego. It is like a destructive. But its power of destruction is not just outside, it ends up destroying itself. That is the end result. Ego destroys outside but also ends up destroying itself. But understand this also, it is a product of confusion. To create an ego based on something that is external, one has to be very confused. We are not seeing it very clearly. In a letter I, you are using it for another object. You are defining yourself based on car. Small way or a big way, subconsciously or consciously, it's a confusion. Car never defines you, you are something different. That's why it is a product of ignorance, ego. This we are talking here, false ego. That is a good news, which means we know the answer here. Answer is bring clarity. And what all that we are doing here, seeing in clearly, just a discussion, and that is the job of institution like this, to create clarity. In that atmosphere, if you see clearly, you are realizing it is not a belief. We are guests on this planet, it is not a belief. We have an exit. You are just seeing clearly. And if that is true, let me live with that attitude. Let me be a guest and stay here. And then what happens? You are bringing different forces, not destructive but creative. You bring harmony in yourself and around, outside also. Different emotions. We want to remove the emotions of the ego, but bring the higher consciousness, higher emotions. That there is a hope for this planet. I'll give you another image connected with the guest. We said, one side is destructive, but we are implying that if you come in this guest awareness, it will bring positive forces towards you. and we really mean it. That is what will happen. Now let me give an example, demonstration. In my personal experience, I happen to be, I end up being a guest to many places, many guests in many different countries. I experience myself, I become a guest more often than host. And my experience is in every culture, every place, people like to offer the best to the guests. People are nice to guests. This is my observation in every culture, every place. Agree? So this is somehow natural instinct in people. So let us imagine a guest comes to your place. So you are very happy the guest has come. You want to show them your nice places. You want to offer them something nice, prepare something nice. Hospitality is, you are very happy with your hospitality. Things are going well. But after a few days, you realize that this guest is not talking about going. Will your attitude change a little bit? So if you ask him, when are you going? He says, don't talk about, going. Don't talk of these things. And after some time he tells you, don't cross this border, this is my room, don't touch this. Will your attitude change? Your hospitality will change also? Yes. And maybe now you might, it might change into hostility even. Yeah, possible. Same thing happens. This is the same law that is operating in this world. When we are seeing very clearly we are guests here, we are temporarily here. And we have become guests that are uninvited at present. We are claiming this is mine, and putting borders, don't touch this, don't do this. In our attitude, we have become uninvited guests. And so with this attitude, our inner attitude, we are inviting forces through nature, maybe through other people, but we are inviting forces of hostility to oppose us. We have the option, be a vulnerable guest, and be the guest and live in this world. And you invite the forces of harmony. And that will express through matter, nature, people, but you are a guest, and nature wants to serve you. Nature wants to give you the best. So nice way you can play the game here, and be lucky in the world. Any thoughts? I am asked to repeat the question. If you say anything, I have to repeat so that others can hear. Yes.
It's not a question, but it's a comment or a reflection. During the exercise, we just did, it was very freeing. Cited different scenarios, like I do not own my job, or I do not own my partner, right? And that itself was very freeing of like not having that loss there. So just acknowledging that even in that 1 minute scenarios, it was just very freeing not to think that you are owning something, that you are indeed just a steward.
Very good. Yes. Yeah, even for 1 minute, that freeing experience. And as we said, that will grow, as more we play with it.
I just want to add to that, as a mother, and we're coming up on Mother's Day, once you raise your children, they're not your possession. You're getting so amped up about
Yes.
their behavior or what they're doing.
Yes, very good. Yes. And that applies right up to this body to bring this attitude. And you will find that during those minutes freedom, that this body itself is not me, not mine, a trustee. And then you are free. You don't have to try and sort of get a little bit of attention, praise, what others think. You are free of it for 1 minute. And then be a trustee after that. This kind of, we need to get this, the experience of what it is like stepping out. Someone gave a nice image. Said there is a honeybee. Honeybee, its life is with the honey, it wants honey. So give a honeybee a honey pot. And after 10 minutes, you are seeing that the honeybee is drowning in the honey pot. Then honey pot is not a big success now for this honeybee. For the honeybee to come out of the honey pot is a success. Say if it is suffocating in this honey, you take it out and now it can breathe, it can use its wings and take fragrance of the honey, but don't get drowned into the honey pot, then it is a success. At present, we are drowning in this honey pot. Agree? And, nice honey, but it is suffocating us at the moment. We have the option to step out of the honey pot. Use clarity, that sort, and step out. And now you are able to breathe. That is an experience mind where there is no emotional clutter. All these ego-based emotions are not there. Experience that peace. Experience that lightness, freedom, gratitude, the higher consciousness. And then you are still dealing with the honey, but take fragrance, but be sensible not to go into the pot. Then you are experiencing your wings.
Thank you for the presentation. You mentioned something about language. Like you use I, my, and more and want a lot. And so I'm wondering how can you replace that language? What should you replace it with?
Yes, yeah, very good. Yeah. One is the language, but even more important, our attitude itself has to change. So more we grow in this, then your natural language will change. Your attitude will change. It is the change of attitude that will bring benefit. There may be, like in Spanish, the word my is not that often used, but it is implied. So even though the language may be structured, attitude can still be of my. Yeah, understand? There are some languages that sort of have a different attitude or different expressions. I'll tell you one story. Do you like a story?
Yes.
And after that story, we'll create some time for practice. And that will also give us some insight in the language also. So in this story, one man was falling off a cliff. And as he was falling off, he tries to catch hold of some branches, trees. And he's holding to this branch. And he says, God, God, help, help. And that was God. And God said, I can help you, but you have to obey me. So this man said, no problem. I will obey you rest of my life. I will do anything for you. I trust you so much. My whole life is for you. But save me now. And God said, I'm very impressed. You trust me so much. Not many people say like this. And you are willing to obey me. In that case, let go. He's holding to these branches. So there was a long silence. And after the silence, he said, "Is there anybody else there?" So there was nobody else there. So he has to listen to God and he has to let go. And when he let go, he discovered he was on the ground. Ground was very near. So now that he has touched the ground, he can go back on that tree again. He can swing on that branch again. He was swinging on the branch before, he is swinging on the branch now. What's the difference?
It's not a need.
Now he is playing with the branch. Now he is playing with the tree. Earlier, his time was in panic. Understand? So this is our story. And what are the branches for us? Yes, various things in this world, and that includes people, position, possessions. In a big way, we take support of other people, position, possessions. And more we are taking supports of this, subconsciously we know they are all going to go. They are unpredictable. So your life becomes one of subconscious panic. We have the option, touch the ground first, come out of this whole branch. Having touched that freedom and security, you are not running away from these branches, you are still coming here in the world of people and position. But now you are here, you are playing with it. You are coming here with this different energy of fun. When will you perform better? When you are in panic or when you are playing? Say if you have to go from here to another city, New York, and which driver will you choose? One who is in panic or one who enjoys driving? So when we are in this mind, we are giving our life to a driver that is having this panic. We have the option. We can choose our inner driver that is enjoying the journey and enjoy this inner life also, but we also have got everything to win at the outer level. Play is such a thing. You are playing to win. You know how to fall. You know how to start again. You enjoy the whole process when it is play. And in a beautiful way, we can make this life into a play. Thank you. We have time for questions, if you want to say, and I will repeat.
The concept of attachment to people when they die, when there's so much pain, is that the ego holding on and not wanting to let go? Is that an example of moving away, like accepting, like letting the branches go? How would you explain perhaps a better way of dealing with death?
Yeah, sure. When we see this bigger map, sure. What is the better way to deal with the death of the loved ones? And so here, just like say here, we got friends here, and someone goes to the next room, comes back. You know that no one nothing wrong has happened to the person. He's just gone to the next room, come back. The life goes on. Something very similar when we see the bigger map. We all are travelers. We all are guests. And different passengers come in the train at different times, come out at different times. We enjoy the journey, we enjoy the company. We know everyone is safe, everyone is good. More we create this clarity, you don't create those other attitudes. Children can create attachments, and they cry, where adults don't cry. We can be doing same at another level, with like children, childlike attachments. More we see in clarity, your different reactions take over. Some of these images are good. One is, and we heard, we hear them, but we have to revise them. I might encourage you to draw something like this, and add some words in it. We need reminders and revisions. So the message has to go deeper. Some other comments? Yeah.
Is there or are there natural serotonin supplements or otherwise?
Yeah. What we are seeing, whether it is supplements, they are from external. It is the same, what happens with cigarettes, same thing will happen with something else. You are depending on outside factor. We don't need them. More you come in this space, even for seconds, even for minutes, you will find you don't need anything from external.
Okay. The first question is, what is the purpose of forming attachments if they are temporary?
What is the
Purpose of forming attachments
attachment? Yes.
if they are temporary?
Yes. What we want is we want love. We don't want dependency. The difference is that when we are in this space, there is love. Like here, for example, you may be very nice and you'll enjoy company, meeting your friends, but you don't want to be dependent on them, so that when they go, you are missing or you are feeling unhappy for the rest of the day. Same with our larger life. Love remains. In fact, in this space, you are very loving, but there is no dependency. That's all. The word attachment is used for dependency.
Okay, the next question. To some extent, some ego is important, especially in this world. You don't want to be abused by another person, as an example. So is this okay?
Yeah, right. We don't need any false ego. We want this, the true self-respect ego. You can do anything that you would like to do coming from that space, from this space. For example, here right now, I don't need to create ego based on this to protect this. I don't need to create any attachment to this. I'm a trustee, that is enough. If someone want to come and break this, spoil it, we all might prevent that happening. But we don't need to create ego based on this. As we say, ego is a product of confusion. You never become something else. To use the word ego to bring in confusion within us is not useful to anybody. More you are in clarity, you are useful to yourself.
Okay. What do we do with the strong feeling of wanting to love someone else, a life partner, in order to feel complete? How do we make peace with the possibility of existing alone forever?
Yes. Someone said, I don't want other half because I'm not a half, something like that. Some joke. So here, when you are stepping back, you realize you are complete. We all are individuals. We are not half. And when we are full, we are better in any relationship. When we go in this direction, ego kind of direction, internally, we said a bit earlier, we feel empty. Ego feels always, all the time, empty inside. And he feels that someone else should feel that emptiness. He's missing emptiness and someone else will make him full. But other person is also thinks the same way. He's empty and this person will make him full. And our logic tells us that two empty containers cannot fill each other. It becomes a direction for dysfunctional problem. So it is better, let me make myself full and other person full, that is healthy, that is then a functional relationship. And there will be less of the lawyers. Lawyers might not like it.
Okay. How do you deal with what is considered as major life changes, such as a loss of a job, a house, and or a relationship, especially when they happen around the same time?
Yeah. Yes, okay. Yes. And now, we all have to do the homework. Everyone has to do this homework. We have to make ourselves strong when the going is good. It is not the last minute I should change. The aim is let me understand that this is unpredictable. Everything here is unpredictable. And anything can happen anytime. Let me know this beforehand and create this opportunity to build that higher awareness. We use the word soul consciousness for this. Let me build this very clearly. Let me do the homework of reducing the ego awareness. This homework has to be done. We have to put the steps in place. And then as time progresses, you will find you are stronger to deal with different life situations with the inner smile. Life is like that, but you are sort of half prepared for anything. But as we are also seeing here, more you are in this space, you also invite harmony. You invite different forces towards yourself.
Okay. This one deals with lifelong closeness with a person, for example, a sibling. How do we work things out if this person no longer wants that closeness?
Other person doesn't want closeness, which is good. They are free. They are, they want to be independent. My love continues. It is just if I may have to question: am I dependent on other person? But if other person is independent and happy with his life, I can continue to love. Love is having no compulsion in this. It doesn't stop me from loving.
Okay, and we have another question here from Guna.
Thank you for coming. My question is, if you're a guest, how do you create something or how do you invent something when you're happily enjoying all the time as a guest?
Yes.
Where it's something that you have to put your soul and heart into, create something for you
Sure.
of your own. When you say of your own, then I get an attachment to that, something that I want to create.
Sure.
So how do you go about doing it? A lot of people build many things and it serves others and serves them.
Yes.
And how does that work in being a guest and creating something?
Yes, very good. In fact, many of us might notice that you get good ideas when you are a guest. When you are seeing things from outside perspective, you are more creative, you are free to think in another way, and it's always good to ask opinions of guests, in any situation, because they bring a new perspective. But one nice thing that happens here, one aspect of your question may be, when we are in this mind, we are motivated. Huh? But that whole motivation comes from insecurity. Because you are flogged, so you have to, and so greed and maybe sometimes aggression or that is what motivates people to do things or invent things or be creative. When you are in this space, enthusiasm, you are happy, and that enthusiasm, new ideas, when you are secure, you come out with these ideas. There is love, feelings of love that come. All these are very powerful motivators. And that you are acting from that space. And that is more useful when your motivation comes from those spaces. They can be sustained, your motivation. If how far the horse, you can flog the horse, how far can it run? When it is enjoying, it can be endless. And same thing in this life.
Are there any more? Oh,
I'm still stuck on serotonin.
Yes, sure.
My understanding from what you said, or what the diagram was, serotonin is a neurotransmitter to the brain. So happy. I've worked special education. I have relatives with addictions. Are some people just born with less serotonin? And again, what is the solution to that?
Yes. Wherever we are, yes. Answer is yes.
It's
Some may have physiologically lower starting position, but we all can change, and we all can introduce some of the things we spoke about. We can start these habits, and change is our brain. The beautiful one function of the brain is plasticity. It can change and can create any new new function. It can learn very quickly. So if we introduce some of these habits very quickly, it can learn and chemistry can change.
But again, to your point, and I'm speaking of human beings that have special needs, because they will self-stimulate, and I'm thinking that's serotonin making them. Is there another diversion, or will it continuously be a substitute for the last one, for the last change of behavior?
What we are saying here, because this is super sensuous, it is not based upon factors here. That is original for us.
Okay.
We are trying to come back to what is, we can do it for ourselves rather than from external.
okay, I think that's it for the questions. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us this evening. I hope you enjoyed the talk with Dr. Kakoday. Conversation. Dr. Kakoday will do a meditation.
Thank you. Just for these few minutes, we are experimenting with another approach. we are using a spiritual sight, as if like different glasses. And with this sight, we see the whole physical world as a story. So everything that happened today, we see that as a story. And we really mean it is a story. No different to any other story. And everything that happened in the past, a story. There is nothing to complain about in a story, nothing to worry about, nothing to be obsessed about. We see the world beyond the story. Story is not the only reality. Beyond the story is the world of silence. There is no noise of the story. World of complete stillness. All we have done is use the spiritual sight, and we discover the reality beyond the temporary story. This world we see in the image of a sky, world of complete stillness. This world is timeless. Timeless, changeless, endless. This is the home of these travelers. These travelers in the image of tiny stars belong to the sky. This is the true home, secure home. We realize the truth for everyone is beautiful. Everyone is safe. Everyone has a home. And then they have an extra story to experience. As we continue on our journey in the sky or on earth, we aim to remember the beautiful truth. We remember the option to use our sight.